Hello, I'm Leah, an artist based in London. I've been here for 7 years and right now I'm trying to save for my UK permanent residency application fee. Come with me on this journey as I juggle different gig jobs to make it happen. Today I'm searching for work online on platforms like LinkedIn, Indeed, Job Today, and more. Today, I'm assisting artist Ru Disu on her new work commissioned by the V&A Museum. We are working out of an industrial estate in northwest London, and my task is to apply cob to panels. Ru generously shared a lot of traditional cob building techniques with me. Everything is made from natural materials, which feels safe, unlike some of the previous art fabrication jobs I've done that involved a lot of toxic substances. Day 2 of working with artist Ru Disu in Park Royal. Today I'm painting roof panels, which along with the wall panels will be assembled into a pavilion. I enjoy working on other artists' projects. It's always fascinating to see how their practices evolve and to learn new ways of making. Every artist has such a different approach, and it makes me reflect on my own. Most of the time, the work feels quite meditative, with occasional giggle and chats shared with colleagues. I was supposed to help Ru again today, but my period came yesterday and my energy is really low. That's the thing with zero contract jobs, no paid sick leave, and your income depends entirely on your health. Still, I carried on with job hunting, sending out a few emails to my contacts. Another day assisting artist Ru Disu with her project. We finished building an oven out of cob that will go inside the pavilion, which was a lot of fun. Ru seemed more relaxed today compared to last week now that progress is on track. Big ambitious projects are exciting but also stressful and always need so much extra help. Today I walk around in my neighborhood and asked some pubs and cafes if they have any job vacancies. I went to 6 places and 3 of them gave me their emails for me to send my CV to. I was quite nervous. Last time I found a cafe job like this was 11 years ago when I was still in uni in Taiwan. Today I had a second stage interview for a receptionist job at a local physio clinic. It was a competency test, mostly scenario questions about dealing with patients. The director mentioned the pay, £10 an hour, while the UK minimum wage is $12.21. In the end, they had chosen another candidate. Honestly, I feel very relieved. Feeling pretty rough today. Probably a cold. Stay in bed scrolling and firing off applications. Waiter, production assistant, Pilates instructor, leaflet distributor, kids art class facilitator, you name it. Most of them I never hear back from. I wasn't expecting how difficult it is to find a seemingly easy job with minimum wage, but here we are. Still stuck in bed today, I signed up to a nanny app and got 2 friends to write me glowing references as a reliable, caring human being. But still, my application was rejected twice. What? Why? Getting a bit desperate, I posted on social media that I am looking for part-time and side jobs. A few friends and friends of friends reached out. Let's see what actually comes through. I landed a part-time job as a barista. Come with me to my first shift at a local bistro just 15 minutes away from home, which is a blessing in London where commuting is usually hellish and expensive. Training went fine, though I may have just slightly oversold my espresso machine skills. Apologies in advance to those unlucky customers drinking my early coffees. Another day stuck at the laptop sending out applications. I focused on art-related jobs today. First, I messaged a friend who runs London Museum tours to see if they ever need an extra hand. Then I put together a second stage proposal for a fellowship in an institution that I know is ridiculously competitive. And finally, I applied to an artist educator program that works with primary school kids. Spoiler, I didn't get any of them. Tonight's job was a bit different. I was assisting Filthy Fox Auction Club with their live auction, which was also being filmed by BBC Two for a TV program. My role was very simple, just stand on stage holding each artwork until it got auctioned off. We went through 28 pieces in total. At the backstage, there was a big crew and equipment was everywhere. I signed up for the freelance assistant pool at the V&A Museum, which helps out at all kinds of events. To join, I had to meet with the security for the vetting process, quite strict. I brought my laptop to the museum because I have a meeting about a potential university workshop in the afternoon. Hope it happens. It pays way better and feels more rewarding. Today's kind of my first official day at the cafe after training. There's a lot to take in. Even though the manager showed me everything, I still struggle to find stuff when I need it. I feel like things could have been laid out better in the kitchen, but I suppose there's just so much stuff that they need to squeeze in. With my evening kitchen shift, I need to make about 10 types of sandwiches, around 35 in total, in roughly 2 hours. I was quite slow since I'm still picking it up. The manager made a harsh comment. The speed I make sandwiches can't even cover my wage. And I was like, but the salary is only £12.21 per hour. It's not even London living wage. Installing day. We came in after the museum closed to build the installation by artist Rudisu. It was quite fun at first, but as time went on, we realized it was much more work than expected, so everyone started to speed up. It's always like this. There's always more work than expected. We need to come back to finish it. Second day installing. It's really a team effort putting a pavilion like this together. Everyone chips in with suggestions whenever there is a decision to be made. We're still behind, and I started to feel a bit nervous for the project manager and the artist. However, we left at 3 a.m. Luckily, my taxi fare was covered, so it's not too bad. Just didn't get enough sleep before my meeting the next morning. The installing work is still going on, but I had a shift at the cafe, so couldn't go anymore. At the cafe, I was quite thrilled that on evening shifts, we get to take home any leftover sandwiches and pastries if they are not sold. A small perk. I'm trying to save as much as I can at the moment, so free food is always very helpful. Although they are not particularly healthy, very buttery and carb heavy. Today, I'm doing something very fun. My self-assessment test as a self-employed person. I always struggle with this and have been fined twice in the past few years for submitting late. Oops. With my income, I pay barely any tax, so it's not even about the money. It's just the paperwork that stresses me out. Plus, being confronted with the numbers showing how much I actually make in a year is something I would really rather avoid. There are 2 types of shifts in the cafe I work at, meal prepper in the kitchen and barista at the front. Today was my first time doing the barista shift. I used to work in the cafe 10 years ago, but now I've already forgotten how to use the espresso machine. I had to confess, the latte, cappuccino and flat white I made were basically the same thing, lol. And once again, I got nagged by the manager for being too slow. I applied to a few flyer distributor job openings online but never heard back. I asked a random flyer distributor on the street how he got the job. He said he's volunteering for a charity. Then I thought, maybe donating to a struggling artist is also a charity? So I printed some flyers with my GoFundMe link and approached strangers in the Barbican. It was absolutely intimidating and I had no luck. I decided to try some higher paid jobs like a masseuse. Though I had no experience, I still got an interview. The agency is located in a co-working building. I grabbed a tea at their cafe and did some last-minute prep for the interview. They say I could start with entry-level relaxing massage therapies. I was added to their WhatsApp group. I really struggle to remember the order when there are more than two customized drinks, like a hot decaf oat cappuccino and an iced caramel semi-skimmed latte. I almost have to triple check with the customer. Today I think I forgot to use decaf coffee for an old lady. Oh no, I hope she's alright. The pressure to be quick doesn't help. My adrenaline runs high whenever there's a queue. My artist friend Rang Wu got me on board to assist with her studio tasks. Rang has a very lovely studio space in a former library building. Today we were preparing food design for a pop-up fashion exhibition that she is curating, and my job was to make some small props. I always learn so much from her, the way she runs her practice. Slowly meeting all my colleagues at a cafe, I feel like more than half of the staff here have some kind of creative background. No one was surprised to learn that I do art too. What did surprise them though was finding out I've been freelancing for 9 years. Everyone just assumed I must still be a student or a recent graduate. I mean, I don't blame them. There are loads of Asian students in London. Still, I can't help but feel a bit patronized for being stereotyped as an international student all the time, almost on a daily basis. It's London Fashion Week! Today I came in early to help set up a fashion event with a back-to-back timetable. We set up the display in the morning. The press preview in the afternoon was followed by a drinks reception in the evening, which was completely packed. It is a 13-hour shift, running around with almost no breaks. I'm knackered by the time I get home. I have no clue how people in the event industry do this every few days as jobs. This is Friday evening. My 20-year-old colleague asked if I had any plans tonight. And I was like, our shift ends at 10:30 p.m. My plan is to go to bed. Of course, he's going to meet up with friends and go clubbing. I feel so old saying this, but I haven't been clubbing in ages. It's no longer in my diary nowadays. It can also get pricey. In many ways, it's a luxury. I do miss it though. Today's admin day, catching up on all the things I've left behind. I sent out a few invoices, corresponded with my gallery in Spain about future plans, made a workshop brief and sent it over for review, and the list goes on. As an ultimate procrastinator, the fact that my time is so limited now actually makes me more efficient. Things don't have to be perfect, they just need to be done. It's a mentality I'm still working on. I have noticed that the skin on my hands has become drier and rougher in just 3 weeks since I started working here, mostly from washing things so much. I know I should wear gloves, but I'm just lazy. It's not that I really care about having soft hands, but it does make me wonder if my skin will age faster if I do this job long term. Today a gentleman ordered an espresso. I asked him, single or double, and he answered, single. Also, I am single. Lol, a funny anecdote of the day. Most of the time, the customers are lovely, but as an introvert, I just don't have the capacity for small talk. One of my colleagues is really good at it. I can see the talent for a hospitality job in her. Me, not so much. Working for artist Rang Wu again. I started the day by cleaning the props that we used during the event last week. For the rest of the day, I was putting together a press release for a potential media feature on her project. Rang is honestly a role model. She is juggling architecture, contemporary art, and teaching all at once, and somehow nails all three. I need to learn how she does it all without losing her mind. Today, I gave a lecture as part of a workshop for the MA Industrial Design course at CSM to around 80 students. I haven't given a lecture at the university in a long time, so I was feeling quite nervous. It went well. We gave the students some tasks to do the next day, and I will be meeting them again in 2 days for the second part of the workshop. Today, I had a great time finalizing the press release for artist Rang Wu in her studio. I love this chair she has, very good for my posture. As an artist, I always thought I would be making things and messing around with materials all the time. but in reality, I'm in front of the computer most of the day, just like an office worker. A good ergonomic chair is definitely worth investing in. We had a very productive day continuing the workshop for the CSM-MA students. The course leader, Jesus, hired a beautiful spacious venue in a former church. My colleague and I gave another short lecture. I was quite impressed by the quality of the students' presentations, especially considering how simple the task was. I have learned a few new things from them. I have finally entered autopilot mode when it comes to sandwich making. The only thing I still need to check is the pizza recipe. There are around 8 types, and the 2 managers have different preferences for how they should be made, so I just make them differently depending on which manager is around that day. Oh well. Another day at the cafe. I forgot to put a tin of lasagna in the fridge yesterday, and the manager said she would deduct £25 from my wage this month. £25 equals about 2 hours of work here. It's pretty demoralizing. Feels like I've wasted both my time and my labor. Being forgetful is expensive, and 0-hour gig jobs are not very forgiving. Today I have an evening shift at the cafe, so I made the most of my daytime putting together a proposal for an open call. It's a very competitive one, so I keep my expectations low. I feel more like a grant writer than an artist. It's a gamble that is dangerously addictive. I'm over the moon when I get one, and happy to try another 20 open calls, even if I probably wouldn't get any. I am too slow at making money. Getting desperate, I thought I would try my luck with the lottery. I've never bought lottery tickets in the UK before, so I didn't really know how it worked. I ended up buying scratch cards because they seem more straightforward. Even then, I couldn't tell which was which, so I randomly picked 5 based on how they looked. I spent 27 quid and won 8 quid back. I haven't given up. I am going for the lotto today instead. I went online and watched some YouTube tutorials that claim to reveal the secrets of winning lotteries. Most of them are pretty obscure, but one I kind of believe in is that manifest abundance. So I spent a few minutes envisioning myself winning £1 million before buying the tickets online. Spent £10 for flight tickets. And you guessed it, I am still here. It's becoming quite clear that I won't be able to save enough money in such a short time. Although it's a bit embarrassing, I started a crowdfunding page to fundraise. I made a YouTube video explaining the motivation behind it. I thought it would be a quick video to edit, but it ended up taking me 2 whole days. So far, 3 friends have donated a small amount. Starting to get sick of the food served in the cafe. I hate wasting food, so whenever there are leftover ingredients or dishes, I cram them all in. It's a bit of scarcity mindset. I just want as much free food as I can. It feels like compensation for the low wage, but it ends up causing more trouble than it's worth. Today I went to Tate Modern to hang out flyers for my crowdfunding campaign. I thought people who hang out here might be more likely to support contemporary artists. Really pushing myself out of my comfort zone doing this. Unfortunately, no luck. However, a gentleman I met, probably in his early 70s, later emailed me saying that he might be able to help me find a job. We are meeting for a coffee in 2 days. This could be a promising lead. Studio day catching up on admin and emails. I was mainly corresponding with my gallery in Spain about a potential group show in December. I asked if there would be any artist fee to cover my time installing the work, but the gallery seemed quite reluctant. My work isn't particularly commercial, so I don't really sell pieces either. Gallery shows look great on the CV and Instagram, but I am basically paying to work, making no sense. I landed on a dream gig. Today was my first day working as an associate artistic director at Kakilang, an arts organization championing East and Southeast Asian artists. I will be working 2 days a week. Fingers crossed that I make it through the 6 months probation period. Today I went back to Tate Modern to meet this gentleman who offered to help me find a job. He very politely, but rather indirectly, said he didn't think asking strangers to donate to my indefinite leave to remain fee was a good idea, especially given how sensitive the topic is these days. He then suggested I look for work in social media, saying my online presence looked promising. Second day at Kakilang, they ordered a new desk and chair for me. It's a small team of 6 and everyone is super nice. I've been trying to embed myself by going through all the documents and plans. It's my first time in the non-profit cultural organization, and the routine of coming into the office twice a week is new to me. I think this structure is exactly what my life needs right now. I am quitting my job at the cafe due to the lack of flexibility in a shift rota. I am going abroad for a week next month to deliver an art project. When I told the manager, she quite condescendingly told me off, saying I shouldn't agree to it before her approval. Excusez-moi, madame. You are only paying me minimum wage and I only work here 2 days a week. Last day working here, the 2 managers are lovely sometimes but can also be grumpy. I get it, it's a labor-intensive, stressful environment and they are not making tons of money. I was feeling quite guilty that I had only worked here for 6 weeks, until one manager said, "Such a waste of time training you." Maybe I'm being too sensitive, or maybe I'm just so used to a well-mannered workplace, a privilege I acknowledge. It makes me wonder, does it have something to do with class? So now I am in this massage agency group chat. Whenever there is a client, the booker texts the group to see if any masseuse is available. Today I finally had time to accept bookings, so I waited in a salad bar in Victoria hoping for clients. But no, not a single client today. I ended up on my laptop for a few hours. Meh. Freeze Week is here! Got invited to a VIP event at a new art space. I thought it would be the perfect chance to approach some guests for fundraising. I came fully prepared with my crowdfunding flyers in my bag, but then I bumped into a few friends and suddenly felt too self-conscious. I didn't want to seem like a desperate beggar or risk my reputation in the London art bubble. My skin is just not thick enough. Today I gave 2 massage sessions, one 60 minutes, the other 90. The manager was shocked when I said I didn't get a tip. I thought maybe my massage wasn't good enough. But he said, it's not about that. I just need to hint at it. He even demonstrated how. I have no idea how to do that. Without tips, the pay's actually not much. Is there a crash course somewhere that teaches how to encourage tipping? Second week at Kakilang, I was the only one in the office in the afternoon. One of yesterday's massage clients offered to take me out for dinner. Normally I wouldn't go, but I was curious, so why not? It was a humble spot near my office, nothing fancy. A bit bizarre, but he was decent. Still, I felt a bit drained holding a conversation with a random person like that. Guess that's the price for a free dinner. I am still getting used to this. Cram into the central line during peak hours, walk along the high street with its elaborately decorated shop windows, then step into the building where there are 3 staff at the reception greeting you. It feels quite grown up, like I'm actually doing something important. Back in the studio! Today I worked on a workshop guide for a design school in Spain. It's a 4-day workshop, so there's a lot to plan. Had an online meeting with the course director to go over the details, then revised the guide accordingly. Prep work like this can take seconds or drag on forever. I really need to let go of my perfectionist streak, a constant battle between efficiency and quality. There's no fixed furniture in my studio, so my workstation is quite fluid. 2 museum curators visited last week, and I brought up some materials on the table for us to review, then got too lazy to put them back. I just cleared a spot for my laptop. I love studio visits. I wish I could host guests weekly, but lately it's been hard to schedule anything, as my calendar is literally packed and it's not a priority at the moment. Today I'm watching tutorials and editing videos for a pop-up installation at Whitechapel Gallery next week. It's part of the East London Art Prize, and they offer some artist fee for me to deliver a one-evening presentation. As usual, the time and effort I put in far exceeds the fee. But since it's Whitechapel Gallery, I have to give it my best shot.